Welcome to the Conversation Colons podcast. I'm your host, Damien, my co-host, Jared.
How's it going, guys?
How's it going? Why don't you take us into the brewskis of the week?
This week I am sitting here with a Smirnoff Ice Pink Lemonade. I
Ooh.
believe it's seasonal. When we were
So,
there, I thought it said it was like limited. So yeah, I got some of this nice stuff here.
never
Love
had
pink lemonade.
Smirnoff. Is the pink one pretty good?
Yes,
Okay, then I'll grab that for next week. I ran
pretty
out of
good.
Mike's Hard. I did not realize that, so I'm drinking good old classic Coke.
Yummy Coca-Cola.
Before we get into what we're doing for the show today, every week I've kind of been showing off like my 4K stuff that I've been watching. So this week's kind of a pretty big haul that I got. I got Tenet on 4K. This is by far the best 4K I've seen so far.
Tenet?
Yeah, out of all the ones first off, the way Chris Nolan films movies just translates well over to 4K. The sound is amazing on this, even though the dialogue is a little muddled. The scenes are just breathtaking when it goes from IMAX and it's just crazy. If you haven't seen Tenet before, buy the 4K. Do not watch it on Blu-ray or normal DVD or streaming services. Go out, watch it on 4K. It's a completely different movie. It's insane. I then got one of my favorite movies, also by Christopher Nolan, The Prestige. I've yet to watch this one on 4K. I've seen the movie. I have not watched the 4K one yet. I'll be doing that probably tonight. Fury, also another great 4K.
I haven't seen it yet, and I really want to.
Yeah, fantastic movie. Jared, I got the digital code, so I got you. Martin Scorsese film that I think is very underrated. Shutter Island on 4K.
Oh,
Yeah, Shutter Island is really good. Leonardo DiCaprio, Mark Ruffalo's in it. I've not watched this
I
one
need
yet.
to rewatch.
Yeah, I've not watched this one yet. This one I got because they were really cheap. I bought It Chapter 2. I also have the first It coming in about a week. I got this for $5, and I got the first one for $5.
Holy shit!
So $5 for a 4K. I saw it on eBay, and I was like, yeah, I can't pass it. Even though I don't care for this movie, it's kind of hard. Thanks to a friend of the podcast, Chad, I got the Speed 4K on the Steelbook. I actually did watch this one. It was a really good transfer. Here, my favorite movie being Blade Runner 2049. Denis Villeneuve directed this movie, Arrival, which is very good. I haven't seen this one in a few years, so I'm actually really excited to watch this one. I finished my Christopher Nolan collection. I got the Dark Knight trilogy on 4K. I have every Nolan film on 4K now,
Nice.
which is huge. And then one of my guilty pleasures, which I don't think it's really a guilty pleasure. I got the Mummy trilogy on 4K. I think the first Mummy is an adventure masterpiece, and I think the second one's also really fucking good. They are my childhood, and I got this for a steal too. And it looked fantastic. So,
What's the main actor's name in that?
Brendan Fraser.
Fraser, that's right.
Yeah,
Holy shit, I couldn't remember.
He is so charismatic, and I fucking love it. The CGI,
He's so good.
CGI is a little rough, but dude, those movies are. The first one especially is like perfection. It's just crazy.
Dude, you know what's weird? When I think about movies that I haven't seen in a long time, Mummy is one, like, that's one that I know I haven't seen in a long time, but that's one I can clearly remember watching with my dad for some reason. Like,
Right.
I can picture us sitting there watching it. That's one I want to rewatch. That's a really good one.
Yeah, you know what? I have all the digital copies on my Voodoo account, Jared, so I can give you that login. You can watch any of the ones I just got as well, and they're all in 4K, so which will be big. So this week, not much is going on in the gaming world. Games are kind of at a halt. News is kind of at a halt.
Season of the Splicer for Destiny.
Destiny Season of the Splicer did come out. It is pretty good. The new activity is okay. But we don't actually get a lot of the season until later on this month when Vault of Glass comes out and a lot of stuff hits the game. So,
which is like 8 days,
the 22nd, yeah,
roughly.
Yeah, almost 9 days.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
well, 8 days for you, I guess.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do. So we did something similar, like about 2 3 months ago. So the premise is, if someone came up to you and said like, and they came as like, I've never seen any movie before. What are the 20 movies you would recommend them to watch, good or bad? So like an example I told Jared was like, you could put the Human Centipede on there for whatever reason you had. So we're gonna shoot through these pretty quick. I do have a list from Chad, and I just wanted to read it real quick so I can make fun of him. I didn't look at the list. I just told him it was a good list. This may be trash. Uh, we'll go through it real quick. Godfather 1 makes sense. One of the best mob movies ever. Scarface makes sense. Casino. Okay. Schindler's List, obviously. L.A. Confidential. Okay. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Fucking love that movie. If you've never seen that movie, Jared, that's really good. The Shining, obviously one of the best horror films ever. Princess Bride, Tombstone, Pulp Fiction.
Pause.
Yeah.
Princess Bride, isn't that Ryan Reynolds and Betty White? Isn't she in that? Or am I thinking of something else?
No, Princess Bride is from like 80s.
Really?
87, yeah. It's Rob Reiner, I think, who directed it.
Oh wow. Oh wow, I was wrong. Good call. Rob
Yeah.
Reiner, you were right. Holy shit. Sorry.
Pulp Fiction, Heat, obviously Ronin, which that's a weird one. Alcatraz, Diary of Anne Frank, Jaws, Misery, Psycho, Silence of the Lambs, and Shawshank Redemption, and finally The Notebook. So he kind of a lot of um mafia movies. But it's a pretty good selection. You got to throw in some romance, I guess, because you got to throw in the whole spectrum. So not a terrible list, Chad. I'll give you that. Um, so we'll get into ours. I would like to say I have 8 honorable mentions that I would like to go ahead and get out of the way. So I had Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal, Toy Story, Saving Private Ryan, Coming to America, Inception, The Lighthouse, The Thing, and Halloween. Those are my 8 honorable mentions. But Jared, why don't you give me your number 20?
I mean, these are in no particular order.
Correct. Yeah. Just give me.
So can I just start at
Sure.
the top instead of the bottom?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So the first one I put on here, which is really funny and really ironic. I don't know why this is the first one that came to mind. Like, they're not in a particular order. Like, we're not ranking them, but this is sort of the order that I just like popped into my head. I think I've mixed around a few of them, but this one is the movie Rubber. Now, this is a horror movie. I don't
Where
know
the
if
tire
I
kills
should have.
someone.
Yeah, the tire kills people. I didn't write down the years these movie came out, and I
Yeah,
should have, because
It
there's a
should
few I
have came
don't
out like
remember.
2008, right? 2009.
I believe 2010. Horror comedy. It's only an hour and a half. Actually, a little less than an hour and a half. I believe I watched this with either our friend Matt or our friend Tyler.
Okay.
Um, and I don't know why. I thought it was a really interesting movie. I thought it was really funny, even though it's meant to be a horror. And don't get me wrong, there are a few aspects of it. It's like, okay, it's kind of scary. But yeah, if that was a movie I'd recommend to someone, it would be Rubber. It's a good horror movie. It's not like great, but it's like it's a movie I think is worth watching. So that's the
Okay.
first
Yeah.
one I'm gonna give.
I've seen that movie. It's definitely one. I guess you can see why everyone should watch it, because it plays that line well. And God, that movie's
Yeah.
been out for 11 years now. That's crazy. My first one is Heat with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. This was the first time they ever got on screen together. Obviously, being two of the biggest icons in the mob movie genre. Obviously, Robert De Niro in Casino and Goodfellas and stuff like that. Or not Goodfellas, sorry. And then Al Pacino, obviously, in the Godfather films and Scarface. But yeah,
John Voight is in that.
he is. Yeah. You also have Val Kilmer in that, who was towards the latter half of his career. The action scenes are done so beautifully. The audio score on this is great. I think it is like the best heist movie, I guess. You could say. And one thing that I'll say about this movie is the characters make very good, like they make decisions that are good for their character and you understand why that character is making those decisions. That's one of the big things for me. So
How have I
he's my
never
number one.
seen this movie?
It's a great movie. It comes out in 4K the 25th.
Dude, Natalie Portman,
Yep.
Dennis Haysbert,
Yeah.
William Fichtner, Danny Trejo.
Yep.
How have I never seen this movie?
We'll have to watch that together. It's a fantastic movie.
Fuck yeah. There's a lot of movies we need to watch together, to be completely honest with you.
Oh yeah. What is your next one?
So my next one is Star Wars, the first Star Wars.
Oh,
You
New
call
Hope.
it New Hope, Blue Harvest, and whatever the fuck. I don't know. People have all these names for it. Joke for the Family Guy one, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, Star Wars. I think that when we talk about movies, for some reason, for me, like whenever I refer to film, Star Wars comes to mind. And I'm not trying to say Star Wars is the most popular movie ever, but I'm just saying I think a lot of people, if they know of Star Wars and had to name a movie, they would probably say Star Wars,
Yeah. I
like
mean,
just off the top of their head.
I think if you also look like how those movies were made, especially the first one and what George Lucas did, um, and how he made those space scenes and how they actually like it took a lot of creativity and he obviously revolutionized the sci-fi action genre and created the biggest franchise ever in movie history um till MCU came around. So
Absolutely.
yeah, fantastic. I have Goodfellas. Seen this movie so many times as a kid. This is one of my mom's favorite movies. Joe Pesci fucking steals it in this movie. I I have a hard time between this and Scarface for like mob movies, like which one's my favorite. But I think Goodfellas definitely goes around that. It's Martin Scorsese's best film easily, and really cemented Scorsese as one of the top 5 directors of all time for me. And Goodfellas really like cemented a lot of those actors as like phenomenal actors. Even though Joe Pesci did get like typecasted in always being in mob movies. Um, if you've never seen a movie called My Cousin Vinny with Joe Pesci, it's really fucking good, really funny. But yeah, Goodfellas is my number 2. What is your number 3, Jared?
So my next one I'm going for here is, and it's probably going to be a bit of a groaner, but Avengers Endgame.
Okay.
Excuse me. Reason I say Avengers Endgame is because it's one of those movies that was quite literally like years in the making because of everything that came before it. So if I really could recommend, I would say watch every movie in the MCU, but trying to not do that, I say Avengers Endgame because it ties together so many great characters and it shows a lot of what Marvel's capable of doing for like a cinematic universe. So I would say Avengers Endgame because of everything it was and everything. I mean, how long was it the number one in the box office until Avatar took it over again? I
I
mean,
mean, it was
it's
almost a
just,
year. Like,
yeah, a movie that big you need to see. Like you just need to see it.
yeah, I would contest though and say Infinity War would be a better movie.
Oh no, I'm not saying Infinity War isn't. I'm not saying like Endgame's better than Infinity War. I'm not saying anything like that.
Well,
I'm
no,
just
but what I'm
saying
saying is like if someone who's never seen that, like seen a movie, like any of those movies, I feel like Infinity War is the best one to like get them.
that's fair.
But Endgame, I
Ideally,
mean,
if we had like a director's cut where it mashed them together, we can call it like
right,
Infinity Game or some stupid shit.
right.
You know, but
Yeah,
we don't have.
Endgame. I mean, we talked about it before. Endgame is you know, when I walked out of Endgame, I felt like the people who walked out of seeing Star Wars for the first time, and Infinity War as well, but Endgame more so because like you got to like see like a historical movie event. Because us growing up, we missed out on a lot. Like we didn't get to see The Godfather in theaters, we didn't get to see Star Wars, Alien, Rambo, all these like Predator, all these classic movies. We didn't get that, and I feel like besides Avatar and some other ones, like Endgame was like the like it's Star Wars then Endgame, like Infinity War. Like those are like I think 2 of the most cultural impacting uh big movies, and Harry Potter, of course.
Oh yeah.
But
I will say that's probably one of my biggest regrets over, well, I'm gonna say quarantine, but we'll call it over like the duration of COVID. Is when all the theaters got like shut down and they were just like there's no new movies coming out. They weren't like doing a lot of playing of anything for a while. But when they did slowly start opening up again, they were playing older movies. Like in theaters. Like I could have gone and seen. I know Empire Strikes Back
Yeah.
was one of the
Yep.
movies that they were playing a lot in theaters, and my biggest regret during all this is I had nothing to do. Why didn't I go see that? Or Interstellar, the Batman with Joker, with Heath Ledger Joker, Dark
Dark Knight.
Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always mix them up. I like all these movies I fucking love, and I never got to see in the big screen. I could have gone and done it. I just never did. Like I didn't just
Yeah.
drop the $5 would have in like a couple hours of my day to go do it. That's why every day, well, not every day, but like every week or so, I check and see if it's back on there. And there's all these new shitty movies. I'm like, it's not worth it
Yeah.
now.
Harkins here does like a throwback Thursday kind of where they'll do like 3 movies that they do. I'm waiting for the day they do Interstellar because I will call off work. I will go see that in theaters. I don't fucking care. But
Right?
they haven't done it in almost a year. But yeah,
Sucks, man.
you know, my theater when they were shutting down, they also kind of did the same thing. But they also just kept rerunning the same movies over and over again. So it got
Yeah,
really
like
tough.
Sonic was in theaters for like 6 months or like
Yeah,
8 months.
yeah, it was nuts.
I almost see I took Rachel to see Sonic right before the like pandemic hit. Uh and I almost took her to see it again because I was like, "Hey, I want to see a movie. I know we're not doing anything." And it's like, but it's only Sonic. Like that's all there was. And I'm like, I don't really want to rewatch Sonic. Like it was an okay movie, but
Yeah.
shit.
Well, what's funny is Sonic was still in theaters when like the DVD and Blu-ray came out. Isn't that crazy to think
Yeah,
about? Like,
that's right. Well, it's because there was nothing else. They're like, "Come see Sonic,
yeah, please come see
please."
Sonic. Buy a ton of popcorn, please. Uh, well, speaking of Interstellar, my third one is Interstellar. My favorite, well, my second favorite space drama, sci-fi action movie. I think Christopher Nolan's best film. Has uh, phenomenal acting by Matthew McConaughey. Phenomenal direction from Christopher Nolan. You have Hans Zimmer's score, which is so iconic.
Oh,
I think what separates this movie, and I know it does get a little bit of a slow pace in the middle of the film, but all these small details that Christopher Nolan adds over time. I'm not going to try to spoil it just in case you haven't seen it yet, but please go watch it. And the way that the movie ends, the last 40 minutes of that movie is sci-fi excellence. It is absolutely insane. That is, those 40 minutes are some of the best film that has ever been made. Period. And Matthew McConaughey fucking steals it. Murph, the younger girl who plays Murph, steals the show. She was great. Michael Caine's in the movie, which he's in every Nolan film. He's great. Like it's emotional. It's fucking great. So Interstellar is my number 3. What is your next one?
well, since you mentioned it, I'm just gonna go ahead and skip on my list to Interstellar because I also put Interstellar on there. Um, I'd have to recommend it for a lot of reasons. One of those reasons is definitely because it's like my top 3 favorite films.
Yeah.
One of my top 3 favorite films. I everything you just said, and I'm gonna dumb it down and say movie really good. I mean, fuck me, I could rewatch that movie. Like if I had to, I could watch it every day. Like if I really had to watch a movie every day, that would probably be it.
Yeah.
It's just that good. I mean, it's funny because I read the movies and it's like, oh, I kind of want to watch it. I kind of watch it. But I look at Interstellar, I'm like, I might like sit down and watch that like this weekend, like just to do it because movies like, yeah, I'll have to watch it one of these days. But this is one of those like, I'm gonna watch that. Like I want to watch that like very soon. And that's I think one of the different things about that movie compared to all the other ones in this list is if I want to go and watch it, I'm gonna go and watch it. Compared to the rest of these, like, oh, I need to watch it at some point. No,
Right.
it's I'm gonna go watch it. It's like there's a couple on here that are like, I'll just put it on the background while I'm cleaning or I'm doing chores or if I'm just fucking around playing games. But like that's when I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna get a drink, I'm gonna get a snack, I'm gonna sit there and just pay attention the entire time.
Well, and
That's the only way I can really describe it. Is it's a great movie, you gotta watch it.
one thing you got to commend Christopher Nolan for, and there's like this weird like hate mob now for Christopher Nolan, like people who like his films because they're like, oh, you only like his films because you think it makes it smart or makes you seem smart. It's like, no, the films are actually fantastic. Interstellar handles complex ideas and lays them out for you very simply, and while still keeping them complex, and you understand what's going on. And it is
Mhm.
done so well, unlike Tenet, which has a little bit of a hard time explaining its I don't even know how to say it without spoiling it. It's way of the movie working, I guess you'd say. It's science. Uh Interstellar explains it perfectly. And the reason why these movies, Inception, Interstellar, and Tenet, they all deal with time, just to kind of give you a thing. But Christopher Nolan's brother is a physicist. That's why Nolan makes a lot of these movies. He loves science and stuff like that. So, anyways, what is your next one then after Interstellar?
Next, I'm jumping to Star Wars Empire Strikes Back.
One of the greatest sequels of all time.
Yes. I would say reason to see Star Wars Empire Strikes Back is because you saw Star Wars. I mean, if you're going to watch the first one, you got to watch the second one.
Is Return of the Jedi on this list?
It might be.
Yeah.
You're going to do that to me. I guess I'll get those both out of the way. Yes,
Yeah.
my next one was also Return of the Jedi. And I'm just going to say it. I don't want to say, oh, watch all the Star Wars movies, even though you should. I'm going to specify the first three because the first three are like they're the source of everything we have today. Mandalorian, Clone Wars, Bad Batch, the what's the new one? The Obi-Wan show that's coming out. All of the legend, well, used to be all the legends, but Disney sucks my nuts. All the things we got about Star Wars that were just the massive expanding universe that we have today stemmed from these three movies. The Skywalker, you know, the original trilogy, and then what it turned into, you don't have to see it. If you see the original trilogy, you know why Star Wars is so great. You can understand a lot about what the legends, all of it. And you know what? I don't care if Disney thinks it's not canon. All the legends, all of it. It's you have to see where the I don't even know how to explain it, like just where it all came from.
Right.
You have to respect it and see it and know what it was. That's
Well, we've already talked about the how the films were made and how special that was, but I mean, when you talk about Luke Skywalker, that is one of the greatest characters ever made, and his hero's journey is the mold for a lot of movies. I mean, even if you look at the new Star Wars now, Rey's hero's journey is Luke's hero's journey. A lot of these newer movies with these superheroes and stuff like that, it's based off of Luke Skywalker. And yeah, I can't blame you for putting the Star Wars trilogy on there because they are that first trilogy is something to behold. It is movie masterpiece.
absolutely.
So my number 4, I know we kind of lost numbers there, but Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire, that I think is still the greatest superhero movie of all time. What I think this movie represents mainly is that when you're, it's hard to say, when you're younger, what this movie conveyed to me was that anyone could be Spider-Man behind the mask. And who is Spider-Man behind the mask in the movie is someone who can't pay his rent. Someone who can't handle a job, a girlfriend, and being Spider-Man. Someone who keeps getting knocked down in life. I mean, in the movie, the first 3/4 of the movie is him getting knocked down. He gets kicked out of his home. His girlfriend breaks up with him. He loses his job. And he stops being Spider-Man. And what I think really works in this movie is that you don't see him in the Spider-Man costume for 45 minutes in a Spider-Man movie. And it is still phenomenal. What I love about the original trilogy for Spider-Man is that Tobey as Peter Parker is just as interesting as Tobey playing Spider-Man. And then obviously you have Molina, who is a great Doc Ock. And so,
Okay. Yeah.
what do you mean?
That answers my question. I couldn't remember if it was Doc Ock or not. Yeah, and that's train scene and everything in the second one.
So yeah, train scene. I one of the best superhero scenes of all time. But if I was gonna recommend any superhero movie, I think this one encapsulates everything Marvel's done now with the MCU and everything superhero movies should be. And this is the only superhero movie to really knock their the whole movie. They are just kicking Peter Parker's ass. And so when you get to see him rise up and realize, oh, I can't have what I want, I gotta sacrifice my needs for other people. It was just really relatable. It's so great. Then I got Scarface, one of the greatest character movies of all time. Al Pacino kills it. The score in this movie I think is underrated. People don't talk about it. It's really well shot. Still to this day holds up very well. I think it shows a lot when this is like one of those movies that can never be remade. Like there can never be a remake of Scarface. It's too good. It's too iconic. You physically cannot make a movie better than the original Scarface. And so I think it puts that in that like hierarchy of movies that people should watch. But mainly for Al Pacino's performance and the storytelling is fantastic. And then catch up with you. I did throw in a horror movie on here. Scream. I think reason why I put this one on here, it takes everything all slashers did in the 80s that were really popular, Friday 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff, Halloween, and it puts it into one movie and it plays off of those stereotypes that those movies had, right? A lot of the scenes, when they're at the party and they're like, he goes, "Oh, I'll be right back," and the one guy goes, "You can't say that, you're gonna die," and he goes, "Oh, I'll be right back." It's phenomenal. Ghostface is a great killer. The whole time you're trying to figure out who the killers are, makes it really interesting. The cast is great. The Scream's on my list.
You're talking about the first one, right? Not the other ones.
First Scream. I mean, the whole trilogy I think is fantastic.
Okay.
What is your next one, Jared?
Next I have Forrest Gump.
Life is a box of chocolates.
Life is like a box of chocolates. Yeah, Forrest Gump. You just gotta with that one. That's one of the ones with Tom Hanks. Sorry, I drew a massive blank there. One of the great ones with Tom Hanks that you got to see. That is a movie for me personally. The reason I think you should see it is if you're into it, if you enjoy the movie, it's going to be something that you're going to be quoting a lot. You're going to just like randomly spew out lines.
Box of chocolates.
Absolutely, Jenny. That's for me and my family. My uncle, for the longest time, would just quote that movie at every family gathering, and it would just always make everyone laugh. Like my little brother, he called Bubba all the time. Come here, Bubba. Like it was hilarious. And I think that movie just, for a lot of reasons, could have impacts. For someone new to seeing movies, it could see one of the movies that has a lot of, I want to say, ups and downs, because you see him for like a lot of the good things, and then you see a lot of the like real bad things, like the Vietnam, the Jenny almost fucking eating herself off a building, all those fun things.
Yeah, I mean, one of the greatest acting performances of all time. I mean, Tom Hanks is obviously one of the greatest actors you've ever seen. But yeah, I think that movie is phenomenal. That one's not on my list, but it definitely be on my list. My next one's The Godfather. I don't have to say anything about this movie. Marlon Brando is perfection in this movie. Very well shot. Coppola, I don't really care for. I mean, I think I reviewed Apocalypse Now a few weeks ago, the 4K, and how much I don't like that movie. And I think The Godfather is his best movie, and then Godfather Part 2 and 3 are very much worse. But I mean, it's just historical significance is huge. You have to throw The Godfather on your list. What is your next one, Jared?
Next I've got the Fast and the Furious movies, because there's like what 11 of them now or some shit.
You live your life 1 mile at a time.
I just want to say, you're gonna say things I don't understand. I've never seen a Fast and Furious movie.
What?
I've
Why is it on
seen.
your list?
Hold on. There's the one that takes place in Tokyo, I think.
Tokyo Drift, yes.
Is that like the third one?
That is the third one, yes.
Well, I'm really good at this. Holy shit. I've seen parts of that one, because there's a scene where they're driving and the cops are behind them and they just go and they go really fast, and it's like, here they don't pull you over if they can't catch you, and it's just like something like that happens.
Yeah.
That's the only one I've ever seen, and then I've seen the clip of the one who died turning. Yeah, Paul, when they're like driving, it's like that's the only other thing I've seen from any of those movies. The reason I say you should see them is because everyone swears by them. Clearly something's working if they've made.
There's 9 of them. There's 9 of them.
Too many of them. So yeah, go see it. Everyone says they're really good. I like the one I saw.
I'd like to clarify. They're not all good.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
Three. Okay, the first one's really good. Second one, all right. Third one, I think is really good. A lot of people don't care for it. 4 through fucking 6 are bad. I think 7's the last one, Paul Walker. That one is only good because it's Paul Walker's last movie, and the whole build up to him leaving is fucking heartbreaking. 8 and 9 were ass. And this next one, Fast 9 or Fast 10, whichever fucking one they're on, like they said they're going to space in one of the Fast and Furious. Like they're doing a bunch of different shit. I don't understand the hype behind these movies, but the first 3 I'll give you. They're fun movies. Once The Rock started getting in them, I was out.
According to Google, there are 14 Fast and Furious movies.
Are they including ones that are in the works? Because
Fast and Furious slash movie slash count 14.
I mean, I know
Uh,
Hobbs and Shaw counts, but like that's where's the
Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, the Turbocharged Prelude, the
that
Fast
doesn't
and the
count.
Furious, Tokyo Drift, the Fast and the Furious in 2009, the Los Bandolerios,
Those
Fast
don't
5.
count.
I guess that's what they're counting them because there's the people there. And that's I don't have any more. I'm trying to
Yeah,
find.
those don't count. Fuck those. Anyways, I understand. Moving on. I have insert any Indiana Jones movie you like, whichever one's your fucking favorite. Besides Kingdom of the
Crystal
Crystal Skull.
Skull.
Oh,
Okay.
besides that one. That's not an Indiana Jones film. My favorite's Temple of Doom because it's the most mature one. That's the one where he rips the guy's heart out.
Come here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously the first one's like an adventure masterpiece. Steven Spielberg and George Lucas worked on this film. Well, Steven Spielberg directed it. But George Lucas produced it. Go ahead.
Isn't there a skit of the directors from that movie from South Park where they have a stormtrooper in a closet and they're like butt fucking him? Like it's George Lucas and the other guys from uh who did Indiana Jones.
Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. Isn't it that? All
Dude,
right,
I
yeah, I
don't
guess
watch
you have to
South Park.
watch
I
it.
can't tell you.
Neither do I, but I've seen the clip because everyone I know is a fan of South Park.
Yeah, my favorite Temple of Doom. Those movies are just so fun. Harrison Ford, like that is like his role. A lot of people see him as Han Solo, but I think he is a way better Indiana Jones. So
I think he's great at both.
I mean, the third movie, The Last Crusade, has God, not Kevin Costner, Sean Connery as his dad.
There it is.
And that movie's funny as hell.
Sean
I
Connery.
love those movies. The fourth one is very bad.
Indy.
Yeah, there you go. People don't like Short Round and Temple of Doom. I fucking love that kid. I think he's hilarious.
I was gonna imitate him, but I'm not going to now.
Yeah, do not imitate him. Not in this climate. But yeah, insert in any Indiana Jones movie you want. I know a lot of people's favorite's the first one. For me, it'd be Temple of Doom.
It's the Jones.
Yeah. The only
That's
thing I'll give people is like the Temple of Doom has a weird story where they're literally the whole movie trying to find these fucking rocks. I understand it's weird, but the first movie was literally them trying to find a golden chest that melts people. I don't want to fucking hear it. But yeah, anyways, let's go to yours.
Ark of the Covenant. Next one we got Saving Private Ryan.
Okay.
I've never seen it, but I've heard it's good.
Shut up.
Go watch it.
God, I own the 4K. I shut that off last week. Yeah, I own the 4K of that.
I want to see it really badly, but
there's no possible way you haven't seen Saving Private Ryan.
I've seen the beginning scene
D-Day?
with the D-Day. I've only seen that because a teacher showed it to us in school for some reason.
Probably because they were recognizing D-Day.
Probably. And then the other thing I've seen because of all the memes is Tom Hanks sitting there going, "Q" at the tank.
I'm so disgusted. Like
when
you told me that a few days ago, I thought you were joking. But like, I don't understand how you haven't seen that movie. I got shown that in high school. I'm pretty sure.
No. Did we?
Well,
No.
I had film class, I guess. Whatever.
They I remember in 5th grade they showed us the movie with Kunta Kinte.
What does that have to do with what we're talking about right now?
That's the only movie I remember watching that was like
no, they showed us Polar Express. Polar Express, they always showed.
All right, kids, we're gonna watch Polar Express during lunchtime for the next week. Yay!
Yeah, I guess
that's different. Oh, there's another one. It's gone. It's gone. It left my mind. There was another one. Oh fuck! What was it? There was a movie they actually made us watch. I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, they didn't make us watch Saving Private. I wish. I love that kind of World War II shit, but I don't. One of these days, I'll have to find it somewhere, pirated or something.
I have it. Don't worry. We'll watch it together. It's phenomenal. Once again, Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg. Once again, Matt Damon's in that movie. It's great.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, my next one I haven't seen either, and I really want to, so can't wait.
Okay. My next one is an A24 film. It's a ghost story. It came out, 2016, I think. 2017.
Like
This
5
movie,
years ago.
yeah, this movie's really heartbreaking. So the premise is it's this guy and his wife in this house, and the guy dies, and so you get to see him as a ghost. And like, you know when you're a kid, how you would cut holes in the sheets and like that's your ghost. That's what he looks like. Okay, and so the whole movie, he doesn't speak. You get to watch through his eyes, his wife mourning him, his wife moving on, having kids, having a life of his own, and like him having to come and like accept that. It's a really heartbreaking story. It was a rough watch, to be honest with you. I had to pause that movie and come back the next day with how hard of a watch it was, because it is emotionally fucking heartbreaking.
You know, there's a movie that I watched where I had to do that
What movie?
with Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson.
Marriage?
Yeah, that broke me, man. I hated the way they were like the fight with the divorce. I actually haven't finished it.
Yeah. A ghost
Complete
story
skip.
is very, very good. It is a slow burn, but it pays off very well. It's fucking fantastic. All right.
You told me about that one, and I definitely wanted to see it when you mentioned it, but I didn't. I
Have
never
Rachel watch with you. She'll be she'll be crying the whole time. It
No,
is
if she
hard.
doesn't.
I was
If she
crying.
starts crying during a movie, we have to turn it off. You remember the Chappie? You remember Chappie?
You cried during Chappie?
She did not like Chappie. We were not allowed to finish that movie. You
Hard to
remember the
grow
part
up.
where they dump him off and they're like abusing him and stuff?
Yeah, but like he gets back. He gets.
Nope, we turned off that movie. We were not allowed to finish Chappie, no matter how much I tried to say. But Hugh Jackman, and it's a great movie.
Tell her to
Nope,
grow
no
up.
Chappie. Well, I try.
What
Yeah,
is
we
your next movie that you haven't seen?
Pulp Fiction. I really want to see it though. The reason I put it on this list is because I really want to see it, as well as I think people should watch it because it looks really good.
I mean, it is an iconic film. It's
And
Quentin
Samuel
Tarantino.
Jackson's in it.
Bruce Willis is in that. What do you?
Is he?
He is in that. Yes.
No, isn't that like Die Hard or something that he's in?
He's also in Die Hard. Yes, but Quentin Tarantino didn't direct Die Hard.
Oh, excuse me.
Pulp Fiction has the girl from Kill Bill. I forget her name.
Oh, the blonde bitch.
There's a song about her. Uma Thurman. There we go.
Uma Thurman's about her.
Yeah. And when they go, she danced like Uma, they're talking about the Pulp Fiction scene where they're in the restaurant and she's dancing.
I'll have to see this movie to understand that reference.
Yeah. Anyways, Pulp Fiction is great. It's obviously a cultural movie. I don't have it on my list, but I can see why you put it on your list if you saw the movie. But
Hey, if it makes you feel better, there are no more movies on my list that I haven't seen.
okay. My next one, which Jared's already said, is once again, insert any Star Wars movie you want. I would insert Return of the Jedi, but you can insert any of them. Besides the new trilogy, just don't even talk to me.
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith's great. Revenge of the Sith is in the top 3 of Star Wars films for me. But Return of the Jedi, I usually like movies that conclude a story for the payoff. So I think Return of the Jedi is one of the like best story enders. That Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows Part 2, Endgame obviously is in there for like these big movies. And yeah, seeing Luke's hero's journey end, seeing how like the movie ends, you know, obviously Darth Vader having one of the biggest character turns of all time in any movie, saving his son from Emperor Palpatine. But yeah, so mine would be Return of the Jedi. Jared's would be probably Empire Strikes Back. But yeah, what is your next one?
Toy Story.
First one?
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Yep. Oh, it's good.
Tom Hanks. I forget the guy who does Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz
No, Tom
Buzz
Hanks
Lightyear.
Oh yeah, Buzz Aldrin. Astronaut.
What
It's whatever.
What the
They're both
fuck?
astronauts. I don't want to fucking hear it.
Tim
Allen. There we go.
Allen. There it is. Good
Home
job. He
Improvement,
plays
baby.
Santa Claus in that shit show. Yeah. No, Toy Story is because I just think if you have to pick a Disney animated movie from that era that was really good, you should go with Toy Story. I mean, you got good, like you said, the good actors in it. The movies that come after are really good. If you see Toy Story, you're gonna want to see the other ones. Don't waste your time on like things like Nemo or Lion King. Just go straight for Toy Story.
disregard what he just said, because Lion King definitely is better than Toy Story. But
That's yeah.
and Finding
Rachel
Nemo.
keeps trying to get me to watch it, and I just don't want to.
Have you never seen Lion King?
I've seen Lion King. She just wants
Okay.
to watch it again. I'm like, I don't really want to.
Okay. Anyways, Toy Story, what Pixar's first biggest hit. There's a lot of videos going over how Pixar made that movie and how hard it was and how long it took to render that movie and to make certain points of that film. Real interesting. I think Cinema Junkies did that YouTube video on that. But anyways, Toy Story 2 you could throw in there. Toy Story 2 is one of the greatest sequels of all time as well. Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about animated film, you gotta throw that, Finding Nemo, Monsters Inc., Lion King in there.
What's the premise of Toy Story 2 again?
That's the first
What happened?
first one's where Buzz leaves. Second one, I haven't seen it so long. I can tell you.
So the first one, Buzz leaves and Woody goes and gets him back because of the whole window thing, and then they get back on moving day and they fly to get in the car.
Woody gets taken, remember, by that guy. And that's where he meets the cowgirl Jessie.
And Jessie,
yeah,
and the miner and the horse.
The horse, yes.
Oh, what's his name?
No one fucking cares.
I do. Now I want to look it up. Go ahead, go do yours.
But yeah, so Toy Story 2 should be on that list too. But my next one is Harry Potter. Once again, insert any one. I think Prisoner of Azkaban's the best one. Find out the name. Type in Toy Story horse.
Stinky Pete. God damn it.
Forgot about Stinky Pete. Yeah, I mean, mythical, magical.
Bullseye.
Oh yeah, that's right. Cool. I'm glad you remember that. But yeah, I mean, Prisoner of Azkaban, I think, is one of the best time travel movies. I love movies that you can watch again and see different little things happening. Once again, I'll try not to spoil it. But with Prisoner of Azkaban, there's a lot of stuff that you can rewatch and you can see how it works. And I think the overall look at this film looks better than the first two. And I think the themes and everything is probably the best movie thematically of the series. Plus, Emma Watson's hot in that movie.
I don't think there's time travel in Harry Potter, my guy.
Prisoner of Azkaban, yes, there is.
I don't know about that.
All right, guys, we're gonna do a little history lesson here. Just prove Jared wrong.
I mean, okay, maybe I shouldn't say that because the last time I saw that movie, I was definitely less than 14 years old, if not younger, which would be like almost 10 years, if not more. It's been a decade since I've seen Harry Potter.
Yep. So they use the time turner spinner necklace to go back in time and change the history of things that happen.
Is that the one with Buckbeak?
Yes.
All right, maybe they did. I don't know. I don't fucking remember.
I know Harry Potter.
We're rewatching them anyway. Well,
yeah.
Fine. You can tell me all about that nerd shit.
One of the greatest sagas of all time. I
am very excited. I do like Harry Potter.
Right. What is your
next one?
Next one, yeah.
My next one is Deadpool. Bitch.
Okay.
Tell me. No, what's wrong? Before I even give my reasons, what's wrong with it? Tell me why I'm wrong.
I think there's so many, or there's a superhero movie wise, there's so many better movies superhero wise, and comedy wise, there's a lot of movies that are more funny than that movie. But Ryan Reynolds is great. Go ahead, say your reasoning.
Fuck you. So my reason is going to be because if you want to know how to make a goddamn great movie with a fuck you budget, that's what they did there. Because they were given this movie's not going to go anywhere. Here's a budget that you shouldn't have for this movie, and they still turn it into something good. And also, Ryan Reynolds is hilarious. If you're into that crude humor, if you're into that sarcastic humor, if you're into that bloody, gory humor, go see this movie because it's fucking hilarious. And also, I just forgot her name entirely, but she's in it, and she does the bitch from Mandalorian. I can't remember her name.
Cara Dune.
She's in it. Cara Dune, yes. But what's her? her real life name is something.
Oh yeah,
Anyway,
doesn't
she's
matter.
also in it. She's great. It's a damn good movie, and you get to see boobies in the strip club. What more could you ask for?
Uh, to combat that, I think the movie has really bad pacing at some points. But what I
That's
will
fair.
give Ryan Reynolds commendament for is he stuck true to the character. He fought for that movie, got it out, became at the time the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time. It's been passed now, but yeah, I mean, it's great. Don't get me wrong, I love that movie, but I feel like superhero wise, it's better. But that's fine. It's your list. It's your list. So moving to my next
Hey,
one.
Damien. Hey, hold
Yeah,
on. Remember when you asked me to tell you my whole list
yeah.
before we
This is
did the
why I
podcast?
didn't yell at you
This is
though. I didn't yell at
this
you. I'm not yelling at you.
this is why.
I'm not yelling at you. It's your list. It's okay.
Did I
Um,
say you were yelling at me?
no, but you're presuming that
No, Hitler. I didn't say you were yelling at me.
I won't bring his name in vain. Anyways, my next one, I guarantee you, Jared's never seen this movie.
I bet
2001:
wrong.
A Space Odyssey. Have you seen it?
Who's the main character?
There's three main characters.
No, but who's like the main? Because I can picture a dude's face.
Well, I don't remember his name, but it's two astronauts and a robot.
Is it actually a robot?
Well, it's a computer AI. Yeah.
Hold on, because I might have seen this. I spelled Odyssey wrong.
Yes, you did.
The fuck? This is not that movie.
Anyways, this movie is directed by Stanley Kubrick. One of his shining moments in the film world. Uh, if you haven't seen it, go see it. I don't know why you haven't. It still holds up pretty well. The special effects, well, practical effects hold up really well. The intensity of this movie is phenomenal. The pacing's phenomenal. If you know that, if you're on TikTok and there's that song Daisy, Daisy, that's from 2001 Space Odyssey with the AI. Anyways, it's a really cool story. It's something that's been overplayed nowadays, but at the time it was revolutionary. And I think all of Stanley Kubrick's movies you should see: Clockwork Orange, Shining, all that. But 2001 Space Odyssey, I think being his best, definitely makes the list as one of the greatest sci-fi movies of all time.
So I I know I've seen bits of this movie, but I don't know if I've ever seen it to completion because I remember how the
Yeah.
dude who I'm looking at looks familiar. But I think when you said this movie's name, I think I was thinking of a movie. You know the movie that had like the big headed white robot like thing, like they're in space and they go on these adventures. Do you know that movie? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Because that's what I pictured, but it was not it. So I don't know. Sorry.
Anyways, and Jared, you probably seen the scene with 2001 Space Odyssey where the two characters go into like this little room and they're speaking about Hal, and Hal is staring at them, reading their lips and figuring out what they're saying to shut him off. Um, it's one of the most iconic scenes from that movie. But yeah, it's very intense, phenomenal film. I think it's on 4K. If you haven't seen the movie, go watch it. What is your next one?
Django Unchained.
Leo kills in that movie.
What did you just say?
Leonardo DiCaprio kills it in that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually one of the main reasons I put him on or put this movie on here is because Leonardo DiCaprio, I think, does a phenomenal job in that movie.
Greatest actor of all time. Yeah.
Every time I've seen this movie, I love when he's there. I mean, I think he's an asshole. I think he plays like the character, like like the character's an asshole, but I think he does it very well.
Jamie Foxx.
Yep, thank you. I literally thought it's Jamie Foxx, and I went to say, it, and I'm like, there it goes. Jamie Foxx. I think Jamie Foxx is A, fucking hilarious in this movie, but also B, I think he does it really, really, really well.
Great triple threat. He's good at music, good at movies, and good at comedy.
Yes, he is phenomenal in this as well. And the dude who plays the like doc or the bounty hunter, I can't remember his name. He plays like the German or whatever. I love him in this movie. I don't know what it is, but he plays this. He makes that movie for me. I think his character makes it so I don't know, it just brings like how I picture when I play Red Dead Redemption. Like when I'm like, all right, everybody, let's be civil about this. How I picture myself. So that's I don't know. I think that's why I like his character so much. But also the story's really good. I mean, Samuel L. Jackson's in it. You can't go wrong with him either. Um, I definitely like how it's all right, like here, you're gonna help me because I'm trying to find these people I'm bounty hunting, you're gonna help me. And then it's like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna help you now. I like the back and forth. I think it's a
Yeah.
wonderful
The
storyline.
the guy who plays the German guy, his name's Christopher Waltz, by the way.
Yes.
And if you've seen Inglorious Bastards, he's the main SS.
Really?
He's the one that goes into the house, with the milk scene and everything like that. Yeah. He's also in the Hateful Eight. Um,
I have to see Hateful Eight. Holy shit, I didn't know he was in Inglorious Bastards.
yep.
I need to rewatch that movie. I don't know if I've told you. I've never seen that from start to finish. I've only seen half and half.
Yeah.
No, you're
Alrighty.
disappointed in me.
My next one is the last Stanley Kubrick movie to hit this list, which is The Shining. I think one of the it's probably top 3 horror movies of all time. I forget his name. Anyways, phenomenal character acting. The score in this is probably the most iconic score behind Michael Myers' score or theme. Sorry, and the atmosphere of the movie is phenomenal. I love all the hidden details and the hidden story behind this movie. I mean, you can go on YouTube and you can find hours upon hours of content talking about, oh, what is Stanley Kubrick like? Why did he make it shot like this? What is he trying to represent? And it's never been fully disclosed because Stanley Kubrick died after this movie, or pretty close after this movie. Why are you leaving, Jared? Where are you going, Jared?
I'm trying to blow my nose but not interrupt you,
Okay.
fucker.
Anyways, the only thing I'll say is the wife. I forget her name. I'm sorry. The actual actor, but I think she's one of the low points of this movie. But I think everything about this movie is great. The horror. I mean, obviously, when he goes into the room, there's that hot little thing coming out of the bathtub, and the horror of him opening his eyes, and it's not that hot little thing. You've seen this movie, right, Jared? Have you? Come on, man.
I have seen parts of this one.
Doctor Sleep's a sequel to it. You should go see that as well. Anyways, The Shining is great. The movie based off a Stephen King book. Do you know Stephen King actually hates this movie?
I did know that. Yes.
Yeah.
You know how I know that?
I've told you probably before.
Nope. You're going to be even more disappointed. It's because they talk about it in Ready Player One.
Yep. Continue. What's your next one?
The creator who hates his own creation. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Stop.
I'm dead serious.
I'm actually gonna get pissed.
So
all right,
the reason I think you see this movie is not because the people in it are great actors and actresses, or because I think that even the person who plays Sonic is a great actor. I think the reason you should see this movie is because if the internet puts its mind to bullying a fucking studio into redoing an entire movie, and this is what we got out of it, you should go see that movie, if not just to honor the fact that they worked their asses off to switch up this whole movie, fix that movie for what it ended up becoming. Because if they didn't change it, it was a shit movie. He looked bad. It didn't look like it was going to be good. But the way they changed it made Sonic look better. Hate me all you want, but I think even though it was pretty fucked up that they bullying the people into changing this movie, I think that it made the movie a little bit better. That and Jim Carrey, he's great. And also for me at least, the reason I think you should see it is because it's one of like the last movies that really hit the box office before theaters were like shut down. We talked about it earlier. I think that's another reason. It's kind of in a way iconic for that reason. So that's why I say you should go see it, because who knows, this might be like the last big movie that was ever put in the theaters before the world was ruined by COVID.
You make some pretty valid points. I'll just keep it to myself. But
Wait, did you say bad or valid?
You made like a valid point.
Which one?
I'll keep that to myself. I cannot believe you put Sonic on this list.
Believe me, I was definitely reaching for the bottom of the barrel when I picked that, but I redeemed myself further into the list. Don't worry.
Okay. My next one, I had to get like a musical kind of movie on here, or that revolves around music. I think Almost Famous is one of those great ones. It has Jimmy Fallon. Sorry, I always get them mixed up. Jimmy Fallon's in that movie. Um, it has one of the best soundtracks of all time. Has a lot of Elton John on there. Um, I am forgetting her name. Kate Hudson's in the movie. She's really great. And it's one of those movies. I think it came out 2000. I think, yeah, I think it came out 2000. It's one of the best 2000 movies. That's what I'll say. Um, it's a great watch. It's filmed pretty well. I don't remember who directed it. But yeah, the soundtrack mainly. I mean, my mom loves this movie, and whenever I go out there, like she's singing constantly the whole hour. It's just nothing but great music. It's a great vibe movie. And it's definitely worth a watch. Comes out in 4K in like 2 months as well. But
Hmm.
yeah. What is your next one?
My next one is going to be the Beowulf movie from 2007, the animated one. Go ahead.
And
Just say it. Just no, just say it. Fuck me, I guess. What?
go ahead.
No, say it, motherfucker. What?
The animated one.
Yes. It's not really. I don't know. It's
It's not
definitely animated.
animated. It's
Well, it's not. No, it's not live action.
kind of is.
Uh,
Anyways, continue.
Hold on. No, fuck you. On IMDb. On IMDb. Beowulf 2007 animation action adventure.
Yeah, but they
Animation.
use live action elements.
Okay, that's fine that they use those. Anyway. I think this is a movie you should see because it is one like when we watched it in school, it was kind of explaining uh the story of like Beowulf and Grendel, whatever the fuck his name is. And it's one of those, oh shit, what they call it? Is it Old English? An Old English story, and like it's just like one of those older things, and they like obviously brought it back from just being written out in paper in or in books and shit. So I think it's a good movie to watch for educational purposes, whether or not you care too much about the actual production of the movie and the quality of the movie. I think it is more something you should see for educational reasons.
Okay.
And now we're gonna get a word from our critic. Hello, Ian.
Wrong. That's fine. I cannot tell you the last time I watched that movie. I think I watched it when it came out, like on demand or something like that, and then I have not watched it since. So I can't.
I saw it my senior year once.
Yeah, so I cannot tell you if that movie's good or bad. I don't remember it. It looks awful. Um, so the animation
It was
is
great though.
not very good. I mean, it's Robert Zemeckis, but still, it's not very good. Uh, my next one of the greatest stories of all time, Rocky. First off, probably the best boxing movie of all time,
Hmm.
easily. And it started off. God, there's what, 6 Rockies. Started off a saga of films. I think Sylvester Stallone kills it in this role. One of the most iconic 80s movies of all time. Has an amazing theme to it. Has a very heartwarming story as well, and you really like all the characters, and obviously the iconic moments of him running up the stairs, his training montage, everything. The boxing moments are intense. It's fucking fantastic.
If
Rocky.
he does, he does.
Yes.
Yeah, I know that movie.
No, you don't. Have you ever even seen it?
I have.
Have
I
you?
actually have. Yes. I
Surprising.
really truly have. It's been a while. Fuck, don't get me wrong. It has been a long time, but I know I've seen it. So my next one, are you ready?
Is this where you redeem yourself?
Thought I already was, but I
You were
hopefully.
not.
Uh the next one is Hulk 2003.
Okay.
The reason I say this is because I believe, and this was made more clear to me after having a conversation with a few of my friends who are also kind of like into Marvel movies and other Marvel characters was this is how you don't make a superhero movie or a comic book based superhero movie. This is how you don't do it. And it's something that I have not seen in forever. I mean, it was a very long time ago since I had seen this movie. And then recently, like maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, I had watched a bunch of videos on YouTube, like going over the movie. And just because of something that really interested me, it was something I was like, oh shit, I didn't remember these things. One of the things was when there are, I think maybe every scene, I don't remember, but like during the main action scenes, you have what's going on in the big screen, the whole fucking whatever by whatever rectangle, and then you've got little cutouts, those squares or little rectangles going of other things. Like they're literally playing it like if you're a live action comic book. You're flipping through the pages,
Yeah.
and that was not good. Now, again, I have not seen this whole thing from start to finish for many many years, but I've seen certain parts of it. One of the good parts, the fucking actor's name who I cannot remember, but who I love very dearly. He is on The Ranch, the show. Fuck Hulk. His name is Sam Elliott. Fucking love that actor. He is dope. Love him very, very much. Uh, he makes that movie really good, I think, is a great guy. It's really weird seeing him look the way he does in that, which I guess is just young. But the movie is something I would recommend seeing so you know how not to view a comic book superhero based movie compared to something like Endgame. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that one.
Okay. God, I don't even remember what I saw. I was looking at pictures of it just to kind of remember what it was. Um,
It doesn't look good. It's got Eric Bana is the guy, I think.
yeah.
He played
Uh,
instead of the one who came before Mark Ruffalo, his name was something.
yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Hulk movies just have a bad run of not really being the best, to be honest with
Yeah.
you.
Almost as bad as Spider-Man.
Yep. My next one is Schindler's List. Uh,
Oh.
one of the best, maybe not, maybe the best Holocaust movie behind the boy in striped pajamas or tied, whichever one you want to go with. Uh, first off, black and white. Not a lot of people like that, but I feel like generally people love this movie, even though it's black and white. The acting is phenomenal, and this is a weird thing to say. Tragedy makes the best movies. You know what I mean? Like because while you're watching this, you have to think in your mind the whole time this actually like happened. Maybe that's this exact scenario, but these people were killed and were killed in horrific ways. And um, when I watched this in school, in film class, uh, that was the first time I ever saw it. My mom talked about it a few times, but it is just it is. I can't say it. It's phenomenal. I mean, Steven Spielberg directed this, by the way. Probably his darkest movie ever. It's well shot. It's well written. Liam Neeson kills it in like the only role Liam Neeson has ever killed. To be honest with you. And who's messaging the Discord? I'm gonna kill him. But yeah, if you haven't seen Schindler's List, not to spoil it, but it is fantastic. And probably one of the most heartbreaking movies I've ever seen. So Jared, what is your next?
It was Anthony and Jordan, by the way. My next one, before I go to my next one, I just want to say I have not seen Schindler's List, and I'm sorry. I know you're gonna be upset about me not seeing this fucking movie. This is one I actually know nothing about. Schindler's List is one that I've heard people talk about. I don't think I've ever seen anything about it. You said Liam Neeson, no fucking idea he was in that movie.
Ben
This is one
Kingsley's
of
in
the
it.
I didn't know that either. This is one of the few movies that we talk about or have talked about that I know literally nothing about. Because there's other movies where I've never seen it, but I've seen things about it. I know people in it. This is one I know nothing about. I don't even know if I'd want to see it. You just said it's in black and white. Did not know that. So
Yeah, but
that's
you should
one
see
where,
it.
well, I mean, yeah, one of these days, hopefully I will see it. That's one that I would like to, only because I know nothing about it, unlike most of these other movies. Next, in contrast to the one I just given, Hulk 2003, we've got Thor Ragnarok. And I think that this is the reason I'm going to put this on here is a direct comparison to Hulk 2003, and that's how you should portray the character like a good comic book movie. You got the comedy mixed with the very, very good story and the drama. And especially for the character Hulk, that's how you do play, or that's how you do a character like
Right.
with Hulk. Overall, I mean, obviously, Chris Hemsworth is great in it.
Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston, Jesus Christ, thank you. He's also very good in it. It's overall a great movie, and this is another one you need to see. And if we went back to when I said Endgame, like obviously, if you see the whole MCU, you should like just watch them all. But this one I put in here specifically as a compare and contrast to Hulk 2003 with what to do and what not to do. Because I personally think Thor Ragnarok is one of the better top of the line MCU movies, like right underneath Endgame if I had to rate them.
Right.
So that's why I put that one in here.
My next one, which is my favorite like comedy of all time, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, is but the flesh wound, is but the scratch.
Tis but a scratch. We are the knights who say knee.
Yeah. First off, you haven't seen this movie. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. This movie is one of the most quotable movies of all time. It
For
is.
sure.
I don't know how to say this without being rude. If you are like someone who gets very offended, don't watch this movie. Like if you get offended by stuff that's said today, don't watch that movie.
Yeah.
Like God, Monty Python, all their other stuff's really good too. But Holy Grail is phenomenal. Fucking hilarious. I don't remember how exactly it goes, but the whole scene where they call the girl a witch because she like can read and like actually do normal human things. She's a witch. She's like, no, I'm not a witch. It's fucking hilarious.
I
Anyway,
love the French guys in the castle.
yeah. Well, the whole begin and how it's set up. You know, the fact that they're just first off, they're basically jogging around and they have like two coconuts clacking together. Yeah.
Yep.
It's fucking hilarious.
I love the whole thing with like when they talk about the bird that can carry a coconut or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that whole thing. First of all, it's a great movie. Though I don't know the ending. The first time I saw this movie, the ending really fucking threw me. I was like, "What the fuck is happening? What is this?" I didn't understand it until later. Like the second time I think it was like 4 or 5 times. But the second time I saw it, the scenes where they're running and like they just stab the guy randomly. The whole ending happens because of that, and I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
So if you hadn't seen it before, if you're someone slow like me and you watch it for the first time when you're like 15, you're like, what the fuck just happened there? It took me many years to realize, but it is a great movie.
It's fucking hilarious.
That's one of the only ones you've said that I wish I would have put on my list.
Yeah. Oh.
No offense. There's a lot of movies I don't. There's a lot of movies in your list I don't really care about. No offense.
Okay.
My next one is Paranormal Activity. Either the first one or all of them. I don't really care. Paranormal Activity for me is one of the only horror movies that I will watch because the jump scares or the scariness of it is for me predictable. And that's only because of like when I did first watch it, my dad and I watched them together and we ended up having to watch all of them as like almost as a meme. Like we didn't even think they were scary. We just wanted to see them and see how fucking stupid they got. It's for me, it's one of the only, like I said, only scary movies I'll watch. So I think you should see this one because if you do like scary movies, then go see it. If you don't like scary movies, you should still go see it because it's not really that scary. The first time you see it, the jump scares will get you. The second time you're gonna laugh because it's like not amazing when it comes to the story, but it's still pretty good. Also, I've heard that it's based off true stories. I don't know if that's true. I've never once looked into it, but I have heard that is the case. It's based on a true story.
The story behind that was that they only said that so that it would get more of a shock value.
Oh, really?
So funny story about the movie. I actually saw it in theaters when it first came out. The first one.
He didn't.
And I actually genuinely like. I like the Paranormal Activity series. Even the garbage ones, like the marked ones. I have fun watching them, but I also love scary movies, and I'll watch any scary movie. But the first one's really good. I would say it's really good, actually.
You know, it's funny. You said you went and saw this in theaters. We didn't. My dad and I, we rented it to watch. Do you know how we got it though?
Redbox.
No. When Netflix used to mail you CDs.
Oh God, yeah.
We got it mailed to us by Netflix in the mail. And that's how we watched it. And we watched it twice when we had it because my dad and I, like, we just thought it was hilarious. And like I said, because of that, we ended up actually going and seeing I think the last one they did in theaters. So yeah,
Yeah,
you
like
got
the
to see
last
them.
dimension or something like that. Kids don't know today that Netflix used to come on a CD for the Wii.
Yep. Yeah, yeah, it did.
Yeah, it
That's
did.
fucking crazy to think. We used to watch it in the Wii. It's crazy to think
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Kids just don't know. They just don't know. Uh my next one is I think Jack Nicholson's greatest performance ever. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Um I don't think Jared's ever seen this movie. Anyways,
Nope.
takes place in like a psychiatric hospital. The nurse who's in this is a fucking bitch and one of the best movie villains that you want to see fucking die. Um, it has great characters. Obviously, Jack Nicholson. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the Native American guy's name, but he absolutely steals it in this movie. If you haven't seen this movie, out of everything on this list, like I feel like this is one of the top ones you should see. It's heartbreaking. It's heartwarming. The ending is very sad. It is actually crazy for an ending. But yeah, that's my whatever number 18. What is your next one, Jared?
So my second to last one I've got here is The Matrix.
Okay.
Reason to say The Matrix, when I was sitting here trying to think of reasons for all these, I really couldn't come up with a good reason for this one, other than I just personally think that they're really good movies. The story, even to this day, I don't fully like understand the whole story, and I don't think that's because it's not hard. Like I don't think it's hard to follow. I just think that I personally am having a hard time following it because I haven't seen all three of them. Oh God, since probably like 2015 or before. Like I haven't seen them in a while. But when I have seen them, I really like them, and I've watched them a lot with my dad, or like they've just been on during the day. Like when I've been sick, and I've watched them. It's like one of those weird movies. But I love The Matrix. Like Keanu Reeves is really good in it. Lawrence Fishburne's really good in it. They're great action movies. I like a lot of the things they do in it. With the whole like it's like simulations I believe they do, and they're plugged in. Like I like a lot of the ideology behind it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Is interesting to me. So I would say go see it. It's one of those not really classics, but
At least
is
the
getting
first
to
one.
be it. Yeah, the first one for sure. But I'm talking about it as like as a whole. I mean, the first one I definitely remember being great. But all of them together, I mean, I think it's the last one where they're defending the city. And they got like the cool mechs. For some reason that scene is always a scene I could think of when I think of action movies. So if you like action, obviously see these great movies all around. So yeah, Matrix was my second last one there.
My second to last one is Finding Nemo. This is my animated movie. My favorite Pixar movie of all time. I think the best story Pixar's ever done. And I think
That's
Finding
fair.
Nemo is still to this day the best looking Pixar movie. The underwater scenes are fantastic. The way the saturation works, this movie's phenomenal. All the characters are great. I mean, you can't say anything bad about this movie. You really
Yeah, I mean I
can't.
could.
No, you can't. There's not a real flaw with this animated movie. It's funny, it's heartwarming, it's emotional. Dory's a great character, Marlon's a great character. Nemo's journey is great, and once again, it's just visually, it's stunning. Audio wise, it's stunning. Great score. I mean, dude, the beginning score, like when it starts on the top of the ocean after all those fish die from the barracuda, and they're going into the anemone, and it's just beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's a beautiful film. My favorite animated film of all time. What is your last one, Jared?
So my last one is Shutter Island.
Hey, yeah, that round's great. Martin Scorsese,
Uh,
baby.
yeah, Shutter Island. The reason I say that one is it's one of those movies again with Mr.
Leo.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Uh, and Damien, you've said it before, and I don't know if I've always agreed with you, but kind of like the greatest actor of all time. I
I'm
think
telling you,
like
this
you're not
man, he just.
underappreciated, no doubt. Definitely the most underappreciated actor of all time.
I
But
mean,
he
real
is.
quick, just to go over like the main things he's been in. Just think about how many like top level movies he's been in, right? I mean, recently you've had The Revenant, Wolf of Wall Street. He was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You have The
Mm,
Departed. You have Titanic. What's Eating Gilbert Grape? Oh, he did one with Tom Hanks that I forget. But I mean, the Django Unchained he was in, he was phenomenal. The Great Gatsby movie's really good. Um, Shutter Island obviously being great. Dude's fucking phenomenal.
Yep. Definitely love him in Wolf of Wall Street.
That movie's great.
I need to see it all the way through. I cannot believe I've not finished that movie.
Margot Robbie's very hot in that movie.
Oh yeah, she is.
Anyways, continue.
Yeah. Now Shutter Island. I like this movie because first of all, I've had a really hard time in the past before rewatching this and before rewatching Inception. I had a really hard time telling them apart for some reason. I think the reason that
Well,
is because they're both kind of based. I don't want to say tragedies, but I kind of think so. Because if I'm correct here, if I'm wrong, then I'm an idiot. Just call me one. In Shutter Island, his wife drowns his kids in Shutter Island in a lake.
yes. I think why you get Inception and Shutter Island confused is because they both have moments where they're constantly going back to the past. And as
Yes.
time, the story's unveiled through previous memories.
Thank you. Yes, that's it. Okay, so but they're not only that. Like in Inception,
Actually,
he
Inception,
has
his
two kids and the wife
yeah,
again.
but the kids aren't dead. But yeah.
Yes, it's reversed essentially. Well, except for in Shutter Island, I'm pretty sure he fucking murders his wife, but that's not the point.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, so I've always had a hard time telling those two apart, but I've always loved both movies. But then once I rewatched them and went, wait a minute, there's scenes in Inception that like weren't in this movie, so I had to rewatch Shutter Island. And first of all, if I had an extra spot, Inception would be right behind this. I love Inception as well, but I put Shutter Island over because I just love how sad the movie is. I mean, normally I don't like a movie because it's sad, but this one, it is so brutal
Oh,
at the
dude, the
end
ending?
when he realizes he knows that like what's going on and he like fakes it so he can get the fucking lobotomy. Like that's fucking to just forget that the horrible things that happen you happen.
Yep.
That's why I put this movie here is you have to see it because it's I mean when it comes to the story of a movie out of everything I put on here, that's my number one.
Yep.
For the ones I've seen because I
Yeah.
haven't seen a couple of them. So
I mean,
yeah.
not to constantly harp on Leo's dick, but like
Oh, you can harp on my
Shutter
dick. What?
Island and Inception are so sad for his character. I mean, in Inception, his wife literally goes crazy by his own doing and eventually kills herself, and he has to deal with that. And in Shutter Island, not to get in too much of a spoiler territory, but like Jared said, his character's journey and how Martin Scorsese presents the film. You know, you think you're watching two detectives, but you're not. It is insane. Fucking love that movie.
Well, the thing is, when you go back and rewatch it, or if you like look, or if you like watch someone talking about the movie,
Yeah.
you can, like there's always a guard in certain places. Like there's always something around to make sure that if he goes off or if he tries to escape, there's people there, and like you don't realize it the first time through. So good.
So my final one is it's two movies technically, but I had to throw them both on there. Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049. Blade Runner 2049 being my favorite movie of all time. I think it's the greatest sequel of all time. I think the score by Hans Zimmer is his best work. The cinematography is fantastic. The visual effects is fantastic. The 4K of this movie is the best 4K I've seen, including Tenet. It is Ryan Gosling absolutely kills in this movie. You have Harrison Ford, who loves Blade Runner. Fantastic. It stays true to the original material. And then the first one, I mean, basically to present how much I like Blade Runner, I have a video on my YouTube channel or on this channel. And I think it's still my, like, you know, when you go to a YouTube channel, there's like that one video that you can post. I'm pretty sure it's still my pinned or our pinned video. And it's me
And it's also the most liked, most viewed, everything.
Yeah, like me going through and talking about how much Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049 mean to each other and mean to me. But the first Blade Runner by Ridley Scott is fantastic. It's sci-fi masterclass. And you know, one of these things, one of the main themes that I think a lot of people resonate with or that they like about this, especially in the first one, is what dictates someone being human. Because, you know, these movies are about replicants and these people who are technically, you know, robots, remade people, and they don't have rights. They don't have these different things. But are they still human? They have emotions. They can bleed, but they don't have a soul. So that whole aspect between these two movies, it's phenomenal. Blade Runner 2049, man, God, it's so fucking good. There, Jared, I don't know how to describe this movie, but like I won't watch that movie for like 3 months, and I swear it's like God talking to me because I'll get a random recommended video, for Blade Runner, and I'll watch it and be like, oh, I need to go watch the movie, and then my life gets engulfed by it. I have the whole soundtrack in like my normal playlist that I listen to, and so when one of those comes on, it's like, oh, I need to go watch that. The only other movie that does that to me with is The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'll see a random video about it, be like, oh, need to go watch Amazing Spider-Man 2 now. But
yeah, I've never seen the newest one, the Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I have seen the original, but I haven't seen it in a very long time. Like I haven't seen that since. I mean, like Matt was sleeping over at my house once we watched it. Like it's been a long time, so I have to rewatch those, especially because how highly you talk of them. So
yeah, I mean, highest recommendation possible.
Yep.
But that's our list. That is it for this week. A little bit of a longer podcast, about an hour and 20 minutes. So you're welcome.
No hurt.
Right. Thanks, Chad, for giving us your list. And we will see you guys next week. If you are on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, whatever the platform allows you to do.
And if you want to leave some comments talking about any movie recommendations you think we may have missed, or just ones you want to throw up there because you think we should have said them all together. I mean, whatever you guys like, just let us know.
Give us your list. God, we're at like I think 50 subscribers now. Let's keep that train rolling. SoundCloud is popping off. I did not realize that. So thank you to all you guys on there who are listening. We're averaging like 300 listens a week, which is pretty crazy. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure to comment your list down below, and we will see you guys next week.
Peace out, guys.